Well, you've heard about the Eskimos' tremendous playoff record here at Commonwealth Stadium. They're leaning a lot on the tradition and the pride factor, Neil Lumsden, in this game. I mean, obviously it has to be done on the field, but they think that's an advantage.
They do think it's an advantage. I think they realize that they haven't played a good football game offensively, defensively, special teams in quite a while. And before the game, Danny Bass said, you know, we have the advantage. We might not have finished strong, but we feel we're in the driver's seat. And I look in his eyes and I see that intensity. And if that intensity can run over to the Eskimos, they can erase what's gone on before that.
I think it would also be fair to say that seldom has an Edmonton team looked as vulnerable or faced as hot a team as BC in the Western Final as they will today. The Lions with 4 victories in a row, and if you're a believer in momentum, confidence, well, you have to like the Lions' chances here this afternoon.
Well, there's no question that they've been hot, on a roll. They're getting outstanding performances from Williams, Matt Dunnigan. Their defense is far more aggressive than it has been earlier on. And we're going to see as Jerry Coric gets ready to put it deep.
You can tell the fans are into it, and we're underway as Coric kicks off. It's fielded at the 30-yard line and returned to the 46 of the BC Lions. That was Wes Cooper running it back. And the former Eskimo who so much has been said about this year playing with the BC Lions after the trade, Matt Dunnigan, lead the Lions onto the field for the first offensive series of the game. And they'll start from the Lion 46-yard line. Defensive charge.
The Eskimos realize they have to get on the BC Lion running game early. Don't give them an opportunity. Watch Stuart Hill get in here. Big Larry Clarkson pulls across, but Stuart Hill is able to get up early. Mandart's in there also. That's what they're going to have to do to the running backs of the Lions. Get a shot on them before they get to the line of scrimmage.
Jan Carinci carrying the ball on a bit of an unusual look for the Lions. Dunnigan throws, and that was almost picked off by Cliff Toney.
You know, you come off a 2-week break, as the Eskimos have done, having won first place, and sometimes, and in the past I experienced this, you come out a little bit flat, a little slow. It's not that you're not intense, it's just it takes a while to get back into it. The Eskimos are battling that right now, and they certainly didn't come out flat in the first series in defense.
Great resolve in the Edmonton camp that they have a point to prove this afternoon. And they are indeed very ready if those first 2 plays are any indication. Louis Pasaglia kicking on 3rd down. Henry Williams has it. And Pasaglia saves an Edmonton touchdown.
The Eskimos work so hard to give Henry Williams just a seam. Watch how the blocking forms. If he misses one man, good block by Don Wilson. That creates that seam. Henry Williams' ability just takes over after that. And Williams has been very quiet this week. There's been a lot of chatter. He wants to let his actions talk.
Eskimos with the ball for the first time at the BC 41-yard line. Lions appeared to be offside unless they were pulled. The play whistle dead before Tracy Ham could take off. Talk about Gizmo Williams. Referee Ken Lazarick will tell us about the penalty.
Offside, BC 45, first down repeated.
That was Greg Stewman of the Lions. Williams, 96 punt returns, 964 yards this year. Not all the spectacular things he did last year, but still the tremendous threat that he is, and we saw that in that 45-yard return. Ham and the Eskimos, 1st and 5 now from the BC 36. Again, early movement as the handoff goes to Blake Marshall, who picks up close to 5 yards.
I think we're seeing some anxiety on both sides of the football. Everyone's wanting to establish themselves very quickly, and it usually happens from a good, solid hit. I think both sides, Eskimos and the Lions, want to be the first to do it.
Larry Donovan, the head coach of the BC Lions, 48 years of age. Both he and Joe Faragelli, of course, took over their teams into the '87 season. Donovan late, Faragelli early.
Offside, BC, first down.
2 consecutive offside penalties against the Lions gives Edmonton a first down.
You're going to see once again some early movement right up the left side there. Ballard comes off early. It's time to settle down for the BC Lions.
Eskimos are at the 31 of the Lions. 1st and 10. We're scoreless minutes into the game. Tracy Ham, big pressure, gets the ball away, and there was nobody near it. Ham saving the loss as the Lions came through to get him. One of the big changes as we look at Joe Faragelli, the 59-year-old head coach of the Eskimos. One of the big changes the Lions made about halfway through the season, Neil, was a change in their approach to the way they play defense.
Well, they'd been known for years under Don Matthews as being very aggressive, but they backed off in the first half of the '88 season. Asking Larry Donovan yesterday, are you more aggressive now? He said, you bet. We felt that's the best way we play defense.
And here they come again. Ham, under tremendous pressure, did well to get the football away over the head of the intended receiver. So the Lions close down. Good pass rush on consecutive plays, but we will see a field goal try with Jerry Korrick. Korrick is the man who kicked the Eskimos into first place on that last play kick against Calgary in the last game of the year. And of course, we all remember what he did in the Grey Cup game last year with a late field goal that gave the Eskimos the win over Toronto. This is a 38-yard effort. And it's good. The Eskimos score first, not quite 3 minutes into the first quarter at Commonwealth Stadium.
As the game goes on, the meetings on the sidelines will take place. Offensive line coach Gary Durchik going over some changes that they might make from what they've seen in the first series against the BC Lions.
Jerry Korrick's 38-yard field goal came at 2:47 of the first quarter. Edmonton leading BC 3-0 in the West Final at Commonwealth Stadium. Korrick kicking off. Anthony Parker at the 30. And he stopped at the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. Little question very early in the game that the Edmonton Eskimos are ready to play, and I think we can say the same about the BC Lions, who defensively stopped the Eskimos the first time they had the football.
They started to bend a bit, but they certainly came up tough after they settled down. A couple of procedure penalties. Matt Dunnigan, realizing that the pressure usually builds up early on in a football game, knows he has to spread the ball around. David Williams may be the key. Aside from that, he has to use everyone to have success.
Those Dunnigan numbers you just saw in the West semifinal against Saskatchewan. Dunnigan under pressure throws it incomplete. He was looking for Tony Cherry, who came out of the backfield into the left flat. What a year Cherry had, and what a year Matt Dunnigan had, the top-rated passer in the CFL, a career best 26 touchdown passes.
Larry Donovan said yesterday he believes his team is on a roll but has not reached its potential. It's funny, you watch the game on TV and they look so good, but he said when they sit down in the film room and go over the game they've just played, there's still an awful lot of improvement that they have to do.
2nd and 10 from the BC 37 for Dunnigan, who has time and puts it up long. Cherry is wide open. Cherry has a touchdown. And there's that spike that so angered the Edmonton Eskimo players from the game last week in the semifinals. 73 yards. Tony Cherry and Matt Dunnigan.
Running back gets in the game. He doesn't have to carry it. Tony Cherry, you see, he's in motion. They've got a one-on-one situation with Tony. He goes straight up the seam. Good read, and he gets that jump on number 6, Tony. Then all Dunnigan does is lay the ball out. Cherry doesn't even have to break stride. Cherry said before the game, if you want to stop me from spiking the football, you're going to have to stop me from getting in the end zone.
That's one of the things the Eskimos were upset about, is the way Cherry spiked the ball and appeared to spike it at Saskatchewan players in the semifinal game. And Cherry's rebuttal was just as Neil said. The BC Lions, on a touchdown by Cherry, are now ahead. CFN and Foster's bringing you the best of Canadian football all the way to the Grey Cup. When the BC Lions beat the Edmonton Eskimos twice late in the regular season, the Eskimos were without Cliff Toney and Ron Howard in their secondary. Joe Faragelli, the Edmonton head coach, felt very good about having those two players back today, but Toney was beaten by Cherry on the 73-yard touchdown pass. Dunnigan to Cherry. Brett Williams has the Passaglia kickoff, having all sorts of trouble with it, and is finally down at the 41.
What's up? How you doing, Big Real Mom, Dad? I'm my homeboys.